This conference will now be recorded.
All right, y'all ready down there? Y'all ready? Jim, how are you? I'd like to call the Board of Supervisors meeting to order. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. We do have a quorum. We do need to adopt an agenda. I've got a couple things I'd like to add to this. Um, First, on the consent agenda, I'd like to add the supplemental appropriation number one from 2020-25, and that's the sheriff's vehicle upfitting, which has been provided to everybody. The other one is under discussion. Brian's going to talk about the burn ban ordinance, and I'd like to set some type of time frame on that to go to public hearing. Who's going to give us quick direction on that? Anybody else have anything? What would y'all like to do?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the agenda as amended.
Second. Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right. As always, public comment. Public comment. Any public comment? Good to see you, Mr. Montgomery. Anybody? Anybody watching us? 0 people. Good. Hot. All right. Consent agenda, or excuse me, constitutional officers, county departments, committees, and organizations. Ellen, you want to pass around the microphone so we don't have to move to make it hotter in here? Why don't we, why don't we, why don't we start with Tracy since she's closest? Tracy, how's it going? Economic development.
Going very well. We have the parade next week and the county fair. Hopefully it'll be cooler next week. We have our SEDS final draft from the Regional Commission. I won't go into all of that, but the good news for that is I do have it online as well. They have strategies. There will be implementation committees, and things will happen from that. Attended both the Development and Economic Development Committee meetings, which are going well. Go Virginia had their annual meeting June 27th, and we were actually commended with our wine gap cluster analysis grant from the state level, saying that's going to help out everyone in the state, so, which was news to me, so that was good too. Our Central Virginia Small Business Development Center was voted the most productive, I think it was 3 years in a row in the state. And Lake and Cottom, right at Sheer Perfections Beauty Bar in town, graduated from the entrepreneurship workshop put on by them, NCIC, and that's a 16-week workshop, so she's put in a lot of work. We sent out grant information from the Northern Piedmont Community Foundation. They have a Madison Community Grant for 501c3s, and Wes Cotton from ACE Collision and MAP Drones is now a board member there. We sent out USDA grants for dairy farmers and Virginia Tourism microbusinesses and more. The VADI call was on June 13th. No real news there. We still haven't heard about the next grant we were supposed to hear by mid-year this year. Still haven't heard. Full planning mode, of course, for Parade and Taste of the Mountains, and brochure editing, reordering, along with promoting all other events. Finalizing our ARPA funds, our $40,000 funds, and they have a lovely portal at the state level that is very temperamental, so that's going to take me all month to get those in. Both grant payments have been handed over to Hidden Pines and to Revelation. I'll be attending the Central Virginia Partnership, or the Central Virginia Small Business Development Center Advisory Board on Friday, the wine planning grant on Monday. That's all I have right now.
Have any questions for Tracy? Bruce?
Mr. Chairman, we had our second Economic Development Committee meeting just prior to this meeting, and we are making progress, thanks to a large degree to Tracy's efforts in researching the various areas. We're also discovering things that we weren't looking for of significant interest that we'll be passing along. And of course, I hope you'll be joining me tomorrow with Mr. Jarvis. Okay, thank you.
All right. Ms. Warren?
Good afternoon. Just a quick update. We are in the process of continuing to close fiscal year 24. Lots of expenditures still coming in, but I will update the finance dashboard by the next meeting. I would like to report that as of today, revenue for fiscal year 24 is at 106%. That's primarily driven by interest income, with the interest rates being higher. Our interest income is extremely high for fiscal year 24, so that has driven the above the 100% we projected. And also on the expense side to date, we're at 96%. So we're under our target of 100%, obviously, but we still have expenditures coming in. So that's a quick snapshot, but by the next meeting, you'll have more numbers for fiscal year 24. Any questions?
Question for Mr. Warren? Thank you, ma'am. Jamie?
Good afternoon, board members. Got a few updates here. In relation to the building department, I've been telling you about the new state building code. Well, we've begun mandatory code update training for all staff. We have a number of courses we have to take to update it with the new provisions in the code. So we're working on that. I don't have a monthly permit report like I would normally with the elimination of RDA in the beginning of the Tyler and the time frame in there. We don't have access to everything previously, but we'll have a report for next month. Zoning-wise, our planner and zoning administrator Tracy has some updates. There's a couple of cases going before the BZA that's included in there, and some potential code amendments that I think you're all aware of. She's just got an outline on it, and she's got a blurb in there about the comprehensive plan, which I think everyone's aware of. ENS-wise, with the new ordinance that's taken effect, they have this new manual, they call it, field manual, and Joe, the ENS administrator, has, code update training on that as well. He's been taking that, and his monthly report is included too. And the biggest thing, I guess, is we're live with our new software, the Tyler Munis software, and it's kind of a work in progress. We expected bugs and user familiarity to come into play. There are a few things we're trying to work with on Tyler. Sometimes it's kind of a slow process to get an answer from Tyler, which is a little bit frustrating, but we're working with our IT fellows, and they're doing a great job pushing them to get what we need. And then the last thing is the building code effectiveness rating schedule. They do this it depends, 4, 5, 6 years, and it basically gives you an ISO rating. So we're going to begin that process, and it's a long process with this third-party vendor, and they work for the insurance companies, and they give us an ISO rating, and that just grades how we're doing as a community. That's pretty much all I have for now, unless you have any questions.
What was our last grade?
I have to tell you, I don't even know. It was before my time.
How do you think we're doing with building inspections?
We're doing, I know we'll score better because we have more trained staff, more certified staff, and they look at training, certifications. That means a big deal to them.
Seems like a good answer. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Walsh? Thank you, Jamie. Very well.
Good afternoon. June was busy, 165 calls, 10 minutes was our average response time, continuing to help our surrounding counties with mutual aid. No units are available, occurred 16 times, total duration was 14 hours, 34 minutes. And I'm working with Director Ferguson to track when mutual aid comes to Madison. I'm aware of one time for June. Currently have 2 full-time vacancies. I'm hoping to make an offer tomorrow to 1, which would leave us 1 vacancy. And I've been doing my best to advertise for paramedics. We're at 2 months now with no success. Pharmacy, Madison EMS, we have all the required licenses. The vending machine is ordered. I'm working with the leadership team to work on policy development and a tentative go live of August 1st. We have to make sure we have everything in place by about October, so we want to get in a little early. Community service, I'd like to recognize Lieutenant McKean. He went out to Camp Varsity and trained their staff and campers on CPR and basic first aid. Our department held joint training with the NEST on the 4th, 5th, and 10th of June, and we participated with the Sheriff's Office and Fire Department on active threat training on the 14th and 15th of June. A lot of moving pieces with community paramedicine. Tiffany's doing a great job with this. We recently signed an MOU for a shared vehicle, so now she has a vehicle that she can go out and visit clients. And that was within Compass and Rappahannock Rapidan Regional Commission. We installed 8 smoke detectors and working on getting more. She now has a radio identifier of CP Medic 1, thanks to Sean. And last Thursday, Tiffany met with the Rappahannock County EMS and Rapid Home, sharing our program. They're looking at starting their own. For grants, the Safe Streets and Roads for All, we're working on the SMART grant. Since this was submitted, we're likely not going to apply for this. I don't think it's a good fit for Madison after reading the application. But I'm going to be talking with Ms. Warren this week, hopefully, to see where we are. I'm not 100% on it. And then finally, I'd like to give commendation for the exceptional work of our first responders the evening on June 13th. Multiple EMS calls were dispatched beginning at 5:28 p.m. So at 5:28, 6:01, 6:21, and 6:45, four calls, and they were all sick patients. Madison County Sheriff's Office deputies Polina, Jackson, and Peters are recognized for their quick recognition of cardiac arrest for patient number 4 and their prompt deployment of CPR and an AED. Their actions provided vital care while the ambulance from Riva was responding to Madison. The patient's heart began beating again, and they were safely transported to UVA Culpeper Medical Center. So our public safety team did a great job. The grant we got for these AEDs and the vehicles, this is how that this comes all together and makes a difference. Happy to answer questions.
Just for my own amusement, why is the Safe Streets grant not good for Madison?
What I'm working...
Because we all just like bikers or what?
No, it's... easiest way to put it is the grant is a theory-based grant where we're theorizing some very interesting theory is where I'm going to leave it. And I don't want to make a request that we know will not work. But the grant writer is saying, well, they're trying to give you money based off of theory. So we're trying to work through what that looks like.
All right, good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else else have anything for Noah?
But I just gotta ask, so Noah, the inability to find a paramedic, is that a prevailing issue across all counties?
Entire United States.
Huh?
The entire United States.
No, I mean, we're just continually advertising for staff, and I mean, I hope that's what we are doing, so we have a queue, and we're keeping any applications and trying to reach back out, I assume.
We're doing that, and I also got recent approval to bolster our part-time. So what we're seeing is when we get a resignation, I get a request, hey, can I stay part-time? So we recently worked through that, and we were able to increase that. But it's hard everywhere, and you're seeing pretty competitive offers and so forth. It's hard to, yep,
Yeah. Anybody else have anything for Noah? All right, thank you, Noah.
thank you.
Sean, how's dispatch?
We're plugging along. Pretty much consistent numbers. Our 911 calls from homes was 93. Our from cell phones was 426. Administrative calls coming into the center was 1,966, and we made 1,100 calls outbound for a total call volume of 3,593. And that's pretty consistent, 97% from June of last year. But overall, the percentage of the year to date is up 118% from last year's time period. We had a call for service volume of 1,133 calls for a total for 7,143 for the year, which is up 110%. So we're constantly always on an upward trend. With the radio project, I'll defer to Brian for some of that. Dispatch, we started training our dispatchers on the radio consoles they'll be using. We have 2 set up for training. Anticipated in August, we'll be doing some mobile and portable, the actual radio training itself for trainers in different the agencies, fire, sheriff, and EMS. For staffing, I have 1 new hire. She's 3 weeks in with anticipated attendance to the academy in December, which is the next class. I have 1 trainee that just completed the academy class, and hopefully she'll be released to minimum staffing within the month. I do have 1 vacancy, but as of actually right now today, I do have an offer out to another jurisdiction's dispatcher. Hopefully she will take it. That will put me at full staffing. But I would also, I think at this time, I want to entertain the idea of trying to convert one of my dispatcher positions up to a supervisory level. I have basically 160 hours a week of time, 168 hours in a week. And I've got roughly 100 hours of supervisor coverage. And I could definitely use another 40 hours of supervisor coverage there. That helps with consistency of message throughout the shifts, but also support and supervision overall. Well, that's all I have. Any questions?
I'm sure we've had to ask before, how long is the training for dispatchers?
Roughly, it's six months to a year before they actually are cleared to go into the seat. A lot of that has to do with the certification of going to the academy. The academy offers 3 classes a year, sometimes only 2. We just had 1 in June. The next one is scheduled in December. We use that as a benchmark to actually certify someone to say they're good to go and you're good to be minimum staffing. The benefit I have with this other individual coming from Culpeper is that she's already been trained. She's good to go. She still needs to go to the academy, but she is cleared to be a dispatcher. So yeah, when someone leaves, it's a long reflex time to get someone back in the seat.
All right, other questions for Sean? All right, thanks, Sean. Alan?
Good evening, members of the board. Just to echo what Mr. Wilk started with Tyler on earlier, the last ticket that we got resolved today, the response time from them from our first input was 6 days later, which we consider unacceptable because an employee was unable to do part of her job for that. So we will be reviewing the SLA we have with Tyler to see basically what we can shake out of them and how we can get faster response times on tickets that we put in. Included in the packet is a general overview of what we've done for the past month. I won't go through it to save all of our sakes. The only other additional items I would add is we are continuing to hammer away at the password policy update. I got a little sidetracked with the other duties. The last month, it was supposed to go live, I believe, July 1st. We're continuing away at that. There's more there than we thought there was. We will be rolling out Intune hopefully 2 weeks from now. I will be providing a list of basically the instructions to employees of how we're going to go around this. I'll be visiting department by department in order to get this done. We're not going to shotgun it all at once. I will be visiting each department individually so we don't completely blow everything up all at once. And the last thing is, having now gone through a employee hiring thing, the IT department discovered that some of our metric reporting was lacking. So I worked with Ms. Warren. I got a license for Smartsheet, and I put together a bunch of dashboards for the IT department and the facilities department that will, for us at least, work hand in hand with our ticketing system. But it will now show metrics that I think we were lacking before when we first started looking for a new hire. So if you don't mind, I will switch over real quick to this computer just to give you a quick view of what it's looking like at the moment. So this will be our new service request form for the information technology department. It's basically just how they're going to put in tickets. Our old ticket system still works. We're still going to be using it, but we're just going to ask people to use this instead. Oh, we look to have lost it there for a second. There it is. And for us, we have this yearly dashboard that's going to track all our tickets, all of them resolved. We will have estimated savings on the tickets that we perform for desktop support and telecommunications. So that's a rough estimate. If we call Magna 5 for those issues, we get charged immediately. There is no support coverage for it, so every ticket we do for that, we save money. We'll break it down by service type for everything that we do, and we'll also have a service type by month, so you can see what we're doing each month. We'll also provide this service desk report to you each month, so you can see the tickets created and resolved and what we've saved per month, where it came from by department, and what type of ticket we completed. And for the facilities department, same basic thing. We have a few reporting charts for them that handles their stuff, their requests, all of it they've closed. Each of the charts are for the month that they've done it, where they perform the service at, and we also have a service desk report for them by month as well. So these will be provided to the board every month once we start using it. They're still rough draft at this point, but we should be ready next month. Any questions?
Well, first of all, that's I think it's going to be very useful to us for the decision making in the future. But Alan, do we have internal SLA for internal users? Does IT have that or not?
To the best of my knowledge, we have our personnel policy, which for the IT department is a smidge lacking at the moment, but not really, to the best of my knowledge. Bruce would probably know it better than I do.
What does that mean, Jim?
SLA.
Service level agreement. It basically says we are going to do this and that and perform at a particular level. If it's with an external contractor, it's part of the contract for performance measurement. Usually it's done internally to help set expectations for not only what the IT department will do, but what users will follow. Will they follow policy, like the ticketing system? So it's something that would be good for the future to work into. And these metrics are really going to help with that, not just in IT, but I think in maintenance too. So anyway, thank you, Alan.
The last thing I would add on that note, I have not forgotten about the AUP, the acceptable use policy for IT. It's been backlogged with a lot of other stuff. So we are continuing to hammer away at it, and we'll get there. It's just taking a while.
Anybody else have anything for Alan? Alan, thank you. Mr. Cave, how's animal control?
All right, good afternoon. The call volume is steady. We had 74 calls handled in person, 124 calls handled by phone, and 20 after-hour emergency calls. We did have a toppings committee meeting and also had a Virginia legal update hosted by the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, basically letting us know about what changes there are for 2024. Took online training about dog bites and attack cases. And Also took a training, we attended the active shooter training, which is better known for as ALICE, Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate. This was hosted by the Sheriff's Office. I will say, hopefully we never have to deal with this, but if you haven't taken this training, you should. The instructors are very detailed, and they're great at explaining what you should do if you come upon something like that. And I'm working on updating the training status report for VDACs. It's where we have to submit yearly trainings that animal control has attended for the year. That's due at the end of the month. I should have that completed by the end of the week. Other than that, that's all I have.
Any questions for Red? Thank you, Red. Gavin?
Good evening. Very happy to say that the generator project for what was the high school, which is now the middle school, is moving forward. The procurement process has been taken care of. I hope to have an update next month on whatever the schedule is going to be. I do know that the equipment takes about 26 weeks to get in. I need to check with Stacy to see if that's already been ordered. Very well, I think it has actually. So that's the biggest contributor to time. But we were able to get the additional $6,700 covered under the grant. They still had monies available for that, so we got that taken care of. They did approve the change of location, and we are extended till June of 2025 should we need it. I'm thinking we'll probably be looking around January time frame, somewhere in that ballpark. Again, I hope to have a clearer estimate for you then. On the Quaker Run wildfire expenses, we've now turned in 2/3 of the project have been submitted. I'll be working with finance to finish off some requested information from VDEM on the expense side of it, but as far as equipment and labor, those dollars have been submitted. Stop the Bleed program, all the cabinets are installed. I think there's a couple cabinets in the courtrooms that still need to be have the product added to them. Mooney and his team really got that done fast, so I was very appreciative of that. Daryl Preston with EMS is handling scheduling training for the departments, and he's got a number of those scheduled now. He's working on the balance of them, and he'll also do an AED update for everybody when he does those. So he's doing an outstanding job. He's really helping out. 2024 EOP update is underway. I have sent some departments their portions of the EOP to review and see if there's any significant changes. So my target is to have everything done by October, and then November would be when I bring the EOP to the board to ratify it or vote on it at that point, because this is the 4-year update. And other than that, that's all I have.
Any questions for Gavin? All right, thank you. All right, Sheriff.
Good afternoon. Several quick updates. As we all know, this week is the tractor pull. Next week is the parade and the fair, and it's always hot. It's always dry. So please pray for rain. Thanks to Ms. Warren and Captain McKnight, we have our SO grants up and running. Channel 19 News did a story on our grants yesterday and last night. Thank them for that. K9 certification should be completed this week, our narcotics K9, so hopefully that'll be up and running by the end of this month. As we all know, our drug activity is steadily coming our way. As you know, with the SO grants, we had to fill two positions, so we had to take 2 positions off the road, so now we're short on 2, we have 2 vacancies for the road. As Noah spoke out, it's nationwide trying to find people, and we're advertising every day. Our salaries now are competitive thanks to the board. We're just trying to find somebody. Can't do that. So it's tough. Last month we 191 civil process, 58 crimes reported, 14 days in court, approximately 780 calls of service, law enforcement alone. Average about 26 calls a day, anywhere from 30-minute call to a 3-hour call. So it's out. This time of year, it's tough. It's tough on everyone. So we look forward to end of July. So, any questions? Thank you.
And now,
Good afternoon. So I want to start off by saying the shelter has been recognized for being a no-kill facility for 2023. I'm going to read a little bit of the letter they sent to kind of help understand how we got there. On behalf of Best Friends Animal Society, I want to congratulate the Madison County Animal Shelter on achieving a 90% save rate for the 2023 calendar year. You've joined an elite group of organizations across the country who are leading the way toward making us a no-kill nation. And then at the bottom it says, please accept the plaque as a representation of your dedication, leadership, and the incredible milestone you've reached on behalf of the animals we love. We sent. We'll hang that in the animal shelter for the public to see. June 1st, we transferred in 11 dogs and kittens from Wise County. They've all been adopted. June 8th, we held an adoption event at Ball Top. On June 10th, the Greene County seized 81 dogs from a puppy mill in Free Union. I reached out and spoke with the Animal Control Officer, Casey Breeden, to offer assistance with housing at the shelter if they needed it. At that time, everything had already been dispersed out into other places. On June the 14th, we transferred in 4 puppies from a local organization. They've all been adopted. On June 21st, we had a couple counselors and 4 of their members come from Chrysalis Counseling Center in Culpeper. They just stopped by to play with some of their adoptable dogs and kittens that we had. On June the 28th, we transferred in 3 puppies from a local organization, fastest adoptions ever. I posted them Friday night from home by 9:30. Saturday morning, all 3 had been adopted. Daryl with EMS is actually scheduled to come out tomorrow to do air AED and stop the bleed training. Animal Control will also be involved in that. We had 28 adoptions, 11 sent to rescues, 9 dog reclaims, and 2 cats, which is usually unheard of. And in-house at the moment, we have 4 dogs and 2 kittens.
congratulations on the plaque and being a no-kill shelter.
Thank you.
Who else has a question? Why are we adopting? Why are we able? And you're gonna tell me everybody's gonna say the hard work of our staff, and thank you very much.
Yes.
Why is everybody adopting so many animals in Madison? What are we doing different than other localities? I mean, it just, I'm happy about it in every way.
Yeah.
It's good for everybody. But I mean, it just seems like a complete anomaly.
One of our puppies that were adopted Saturday, they actually come up from Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, just to adopt one of the puppies they seen on Facebook. So we're not adopting just to in-county residents. It's all over. I like to credit social media. We keep them out there. We keep them posted. We do adoption updates so people can kind of see how the dogs are doing in their new homes. I think it's just getting the word out there on what we have at the shelter.
No, absolutely. That's
Thank
great.
you.
Absolutely great. Anybody else have any questions for Neil? All right, Brian, you gonna give us Mooney's report as he tries to fix the AC?
Yeah, Mr. Frazier's trying to keep us out of an oven this afternoon. The only update he had was the courthouse roof has been delayed until September because of the excessive heat.
All right, got anything else? No, sir. All right. I don't think we missed anything. All right. Consent agenda, we've got minutes from 6/11/2024, and then we've got supplemental appropriation number 19 from 2024 and supplemental appropriation number 1 of 2025. How would y'all like to do it?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We don't have any special appearances, public hearing, let's go right into old business. Mr. Gordon, tell us about the rural rustic resolutions, 12 through 15.
Yes, sir. Ms. Turner's going to bring up an illustration here. This is 4 resolutions to put these 4 roads or sections of those roads into the Rural Rustic program. The first one is Whippoorwill Road. It expands roughly 2.04 miles from Duet. If you're familiar with that road, there's a ridge top about 2/3 of the way through it. It's going to expand from Duet Road to that location. The second one is Emmett Road. It's going to extend from Edlin Road to just past the bridge, roughly 0.24 miles. The third is Walker's Mill Lane off of Shelby Road, and that will expand roughly 1.76 miles from Shelby Road. Quite a few houses back in there. And then the fourth one is Turner Drive. It's 2024-15, and that road will expand about 0.44 miles from Climate's Mill. All 4 of these, I believe, have been talked about before in the plan.
Yeah.
Questions?
Yeah, I got something, Mr. Chairman, on this. All 4 of these right here, that we've talked about them for 2 or 3 years now, and I think the folks that live on these roads want them paved in this case. Now, with that said, the General Assembly, I think most of you remember, but I wanted to bring it up again for the public and for us again. The General Assembly this past session, has decided that rural rustic monies can be used to improve gravel roads. Now, we had a gentleman in here, months ago that wanted the Novum, a road in Novum, improved, but rural rustic didn't work because it was too narrow, and they just were asking for ditching and gravel and to make it safer. So now we could do that. So let's just keep that in mind. So when somebody comes in, I mean, I personally like gravel roads for whatever reason. I guess it's what I grew up with. It's our heritage. So let's keep that in mind. So when people come in, it's like, do you really want it paved, or you just want it improved, ditched for safety purposes? So I wanted to bring that up before we voted on these resolutions. These are set, I think.
No, it's a great, 100%. I think these are, we've talked about them for way too long. By 2040, they'll be done. But we do need to know what total of monies are going to be left available post these 4 roads, so that there is an understanding of using some of that rural rustic to upgrade some of the gravel roads and make them safer. Just bringing it up with Terry whenever she decides to come back. Anybody else got anything on this rural rustic stuff? I don't see it. Hannon, is there any reason why we can't pass all of these in one motion, stating 2024-12, 2024-13, 14, and 15? Excellent. What do you all think?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I move that we pass the rural rustic resolutions numbers 2024-12, 2024-13, 2024-14, and 2024-15.
Second. Motion made, second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, Mr. Gordon, tell us about the Hoover Ridge Outdoor Rec Center update.
Okay, we had a meeting on July 8th with the Hoover Ridge Committee. We talked about the bids. As everyone's aware of, they came in very elevated from what we thought they would be. As a result of that meeting, they kind of broke out and agreed to look at the direction of breaking out Phase 1 into 2 different phases, Phase 1A and Phase 1B. Phase 1A would be all of your groundwork, land disturbance, water control, and also all the utility conduit and things of that nature, so you don't have to dig anything back up. And then 1B would come back in with the hard surfacing. 1A would include the handicap parking spaces to meet ADA. And then Phase 1B would come back. 1A would include the parking spaces for handicap. 1B would come back in and do the hard surfacing, the asphalt, the concrete walkways, playing surfaces where available. We did talk help with this project. That was centralized around ADA, with walkways and things of that nature. We expect to have some type of answer or whether or not we're going to be approved for that by the end of the summer. The committee, they were favored to put this back out for bid sometime around September, if that's the direction the board would like to go.
Who has questions, comments on this? Myself, think we're not bidding it in a big enough package, but the problem that we're running into is the availability of capital. And not going out and taking out of Madison County general funds to do this project, which is the responsible way to do it. Anybody have any comments or thoughts other than proceed in September and let's see what we get back?
Mr. Dunn, asked on what we would, what the projected phasing would cost.
That is really hard to determine, just simply because of where the numbers came in the first bid process. We talked to the engineer of record. He had a multiplier, I believe, of 1.04 from where this was talked about initially. Have those numbers increased or decreased? The market dictates. The thinking is by going into a bid process in September, you may have a better chance of getting a more favorable outcome.
Way back when we started. Yeah, started at 1.2, and then now our first round of this, what was it, 1.7 was 1 billion and 3.9 for the whole package. So hopefully by removing the pavings, I mean, right now we have allocated, 700K from the county towards this. Hopefully it comes within those, and we know Parks and Rec and hockey and all different, the 501c3 has some money available, so maybe we'll get some of this going and solidifying some of the obligations that have been committed to from outside sources that we're sure are all going to come in, and then go from there once they get.
And Parks and Rec is doing a lot of fundraising on their side as well. They're getting some substantial amounts coming in on a pretty regular basis. So that may improve.
They're doing astoundingly well. I mean, it's shocking how fast.
Right, between us and the fundraising and, correct.
Is that including the 212 that we already spent, or it wasn't 212, it was 180? That's not including the 180 that we spent for the planners.
Correct.
All right, there you go. This is right on. They're good with this plan. They're good in September. Let's see what they think about it.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the next one. Radio projects. Brian?
So we are getting close, and I know I've been saying that a lot. Had a meeting this morning, and it's probably going to be pushed slightly. But the code plug has been written. It has been installed in multiple radios that we'll be handing out next week. We're going to do a jump on my list a little bit. Next week's Fair Week. All of our first responder communities operating in some way, shape, or form. So what better opportunity to put that in somebody's hands? The sheriff came to me probably 2 weeks ago, said, "Can we do this?" Motorola originally had it slated for July 29th. We were able to push that up to next week. I actually have a bunch of the radios in my office. I'm going to start handing out tomorrow to start working through does the programming on these radios work for us. And what I mean by that, it's all operational. It's how do these channels, how are we going to operate on these channels when things really happen? Or if we're operating an event like we are next week. Hoover Ridge Tower and compound is completely completed online and transmitting both directions in microwave. The beautiful Run Tower is completed and online and transmitting. One microwave leg to Hoover Ridge is active. The other one to the Coast and Mountain was aligned today. Greene County, they're having a little bit of an issue getting their last site online. We anticipate that sooner rather than later, but that's the last piece of the puzzle for the entire works. The Blakey Ridge compound is online and transmitting. Both microwave links are operating, one to Hoover Ridge and one to American Tower in Greene County. The Church Hill site is completed. We are installing the last piece of equipment for the fiber link tomorrow morning, and that will give us backhaul to the ECC and then ultimately to Hoover Ridge to get back into the core. The ECC has been completed, apart from installing the consoles in the ECC floor itself. As Sean mentioned, they had training there last week to train the dispatchers on the console. The beautiful thing about it is the console we're going to is very, very similar to what they've been using for years. So there shouldn't be a lot of transition there. Key dates, as I talked about the code plug testing will be next week. Dispatch console training was last week, actually 3 weeks ago, June 27th to 28th. Coverage testing was set to August 12th until this morning. Because of the issues that Greene County's having to get that last site online, coverage testing may get pushed. What we talked about this morning was the first week of September. I'm trying to fight that to get that to the third week of August to keep us in line. Now, the bottom line is as long as we coverage test with leaves on the trees, we can go live in December. The big thing is to get coverage tested before the leaves fall off the trees. Right now, the last site in Greene County, Laconia, is operating on generator only because it doesn't have power to it. That's the only holdup. I'll have phone calls out to Greene County staff to see what the timeline is and see if I can help with getting that power to them quicker. Mobile and portable training will take place August the 28th, and that is just for operational, how to turn it on, how to switch channels, how to switch zones. Essentially, these radios are micro laptops. They will do a tremendous amount if you program it to do so. The last training that we will have will be the Madison County operational presentation on how we want to work. Right now, I'm trying to develop an operational plan, get that to the sheriff, chief, fire chief, Noah, Gavin, and vet that. Does it make sense? Does it not? Beat it up, find a plan that works, and then have all the first responders attend one of those in September. Once we do that, the plan is to go live until this morning in September 15th. The thing about going live is the system has to bake, as they call it, for about 2 to 3 weeks after we do coverage testing to do all the run-ins. They'll do a bunch of tests, take down fiber links, take down network arms to make sure the system and its redundancies are going to do what it's supposed to do. So as it stands right now, if we get it the third week of September, the third week in August, we're going to go live somewhere around the second, third week of September. The farther we push that out, the longer it's going to be. Obviously, we're trying to get this thing in line. We've been playing with it for 4.5 years. It's time to go.
Any other questions on this? I thought it was good long if we enjoyed the project.
I do enjoy the project, but I would enjoy to see the sheriff carrying the radio.
I'm telling you, we haven't talked about it. It's great that we can see the site and the engine side. Anybody? All right, let's keep going. Ms. Turner, tell us about committees and board updates.
Thank you. So the list on the screen is for the FAPT, the FACT team, and also the CPMT team. These are provided by Tiffany Woodward, our CSA coordinator. This is their active list. It's for you. It's in front of you tonight for awareness and for approval. This is, most of these positions are mandated positions because they are based on position. You will notice that there are a few vacant positions. The parent rep and the private provider rep are 2-year roles, and they are having a lot of difficulty finding people to fill those roles. So those are actively vacant for the CPMT, but everything else is active and up to date and ready for your approval.
There are any questions about this? Dustin, your name's on the list. Do you have an opinion?
I mean, Tiffany's working hard and doing a good job, and then it's just, you can't find those 2 positions.
Yes, sir. They need an approval from us on FAPT and CPMT. What would y'all like to do?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the list for FAPT and CPMT. I'll second that.
Motion's made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, home occupation. Hannon, we're gonna go to you. We've been talking about this a lot, so I'm gonna steal somebody's thunder real quick. Called everybody last week just to make sure we were going in the right direction, and we have talked about this at length. The direction I took from everybody was essentially that we were going to work off of Hammond's document that he proposed previously, send that to the planning commission so that it will add clarity to the ordinance that is very slightly vague at this point, and then have the planning commission review it to see if there's any issues. Dustin came up also with maybe we need to send it to Sean Grove just to get another set of eyes on it, not to trump Hannon or anything of that nature, but just have one more set of expertise. The whole idea, though, I think, is this is something that needs clarity pretty promptly. I'd like to see this thing go to public hearing sometime in September, so that it's not just open-ended and we just keep it going. And then the other one is, what's Tracy last name? Clatterbuck, thank you. Is gonna send a, letter to the case that is current, saying that we recommend to withdraw the application based on, it being a home occupation with employees not working on site. Hannon, what have I left out?
Only that you're individually calling the
Yes, absolutely. No, of course.
collective call.
Of course. Thank you.
No, it's the, it's a definition of the home occupancy, and within that definition, about three things that we allow, we either construed, misconstrued, or demonstrated or interpreted. So the goal is to be consistent with the historical interpretation back, not very that's my understanding, but sort of directions to it.
Anybody have any reason that this is a poor plan or something that we're missing at this point?
No, sir. That's the way I see it.
Brian, you got anything to add?
No, sir.
All right, I think that we already took even a vote, I think, to pass this on to the planning commission. We know they have a workshop this upcoming Wednesday. Hopefully your memo will be circulated in and we can get their direction at that point. Does the September timeline seem realistic to everybody?
Yeah. I think the one difference between what we're asking the planning commission to review now versus perhaps what we tasked with before. We were tasking them last time with going through, what a home occupation is. And I think, in my opinion, and I think we all agree that we need clarification to what's in the ordinance, which Hannon laid out pretty well. Not to reinvent this wheel or yank out what's already in there for home occupation, but to clarify what is in there. In my opinion, and historically, the way Shackelford interpreted it, the way the zoning administration was interpreted all these years was less than 3 employees on site is a home occupation. So anyhow, I think that's a little bit.
We all know about how the party's opinion is. Is everybody on board with this direction?
Did I
think that's right. Everybody good? There you go. Let's pass it on and see what the planning commission gets to and see if we can get a realistic timeline. Anybody else on home occupation? All right. New business, trash disposal fee waiver for the Taste of Madison, or Taste of the Mountain Street Festival. Brian?
Yes, sir. Tracy has requested a waiver for the trash pickup on Taste of the Mountains Festival. That's the football team will be handling all of that. Additionally, they've requested permission to use the Normal County property, the administrative circle, library lawn, War Memorial Building lawn area, county-owned property next to the drugstore parking lot, and Beasley Park for various activities associated with that event.
All right, I'm hearing a very good one. Where's the fair surplus for the same thing?
The fair?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we do the fair the same way every year, don't we, Tracy? Yeah, there, Gavin's nodding, that counts for something. We haven't seen anything from the fair.
I will reach out.
Certainly they're gonna want the same thing. Is that something we can throw in there? All right, anybody got anything on the trash fee waiver? What would y'all like to do?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the trash fee waiver for the Taste of the Mountains and the county fair.
I'll second.
All right, motion made, seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, you gonna
contact the fair and let them know that's the direction we're going.
Yes, thank you. All right, discussion. Brian, tell us about the fire ban ordinance that, you're proposing and you think we need. And a potential timeline for, advertising your public hearing.
Sure. As everybody's aware, last fall was a very interesting time with fire behavior and fire weather as it proceeded and the readiness that fire took off in the area to the point where it expended our resources. During that time, we instituted a burn ban through a very complicated and time-consuming process. This is an effort to make that a lot quicker. Have researched ordinances from multiple different jurisdictions, both small, large, and tried to come up with a hybrid that meets Madison County that's both easy to deploy and easy to rescind, along with some common sense definitions that doesn't cover a fireplace, so to speak. I've handed that over to Hannon, and Hannon's in the process of vetting that now. I believe that we'll be ready for a public hearing the second meeting of August. And that will give us time to get that in place and ready for fire season if the weather doesn't improve. Everybody knows the summer's been extremely dry. If that continues throughout the fall, we may be facing the same type of conditions this fall.
Going towards that second meeting in August, Hannon, when do you think you can email the board, and let us get back to you if we have concerns, and still be, within our advertising timeframe for that meeting?
We've been planning, especially now we agree a bit before the week was over and Sunday I get Ryan for the final chat on him.
So we should have plenty of time to get back to you and go from there. Please.
Maybe next week, it's probably the rest of the day.
I agree. Anybody have any issue with this and going ahead and authorizing, Brian and Hannon and everybody else involved, to go public hearing on this?
And we will also reach out to Sheriff Weaver, Chief Coppage, certainly Gavin Helm will be involved in that as well to make sure it makes sense and we're doing the right thing.
Talk to Jonathan, so.
Yes,
I would add it, man.
I'm trying not to talk him while he's on vacation. I'm trying to leave him alone.
We don't bother him on vacation. Everybody good with this plan? All right. Anybody have any information or correspondence?
No, sir.
All right. Back to public comments. Public comments. Any public comments? All right. Yes, ma'am.
Several months ago, I went into the IT department. That's an awfully small room. Is there plans to expand that room? Just thought I'd ask.
Alan put her up to that.
It's a good question. I think it looks like an IT office, and they keep adding pictures of everybody. It's very odd. It's a good comment. No, we'll revisit that one, Ms. Montgomery. Any other public comment? We do have a closed session to do some interviews for Germana, board. What would you like to say?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board convene in a closed session pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A1 for personnel.
Second. Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank y'all. Brian, you want to take some applicants going down the hallway with Ms. Turner or somebody?
This conference is no longer being recorded.